It's 5 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're live.
Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Whatever it is, it's all good because you guys are here with us and we're here with you on Polkas After Dark on
Our broadcast link with a C
and
Facebook and YouTube.
And YouTube. There you go. We got all three.
I was trying to pay attention for that one.
We are nailed down. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, gals, we want to welcome you. Tonight's a very special night, especially for me anyhow, because I get a chance to talk with one of my favorite buddies from Michigan who used to reside in Buffalo, New York. He relocated out to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I am talking about Nigel Kurdziel. He's going to be our guest this afternoon on Polkas After Dark for an interview. We cannot wait. Hey, we've got a lot of folks in the chat room already. We want to say hello to all of you. Looks like the Chip Check Merwins are here. Happy anniversary to you guys.
Happy anniversary.
How many years does that make for them?
Happy anniversary. 35.
35 years. Wow. I can't believe that. 35 years. Holy smokes.
And they still like each other.
Isn't that nice?
And hang out.
Isn't that nice?
They're so
they
sweet
go
together.
everywhere together. Yeah.
They're awesome.
That's kind of cool.
That's what I want to be in 35 years. So how many do we have? We have a lot of years before that.
We got a long way to go. Hey, we're going to say hi to Rick and Jen Pianowski, also to Jonathan Skachillis. He's here with us. Linda and Art Gaylor, good evening to you. Lisa and Jean Skowronek, they're down catching John Góra and Górale down at the Uniontown Polish Club tonight. He's entertaining. Also, let's say hello to Chris Curtis. He's here. Kathy and Wiggs are here from Michigan as well. Pete Chacho is here, the drummer for the Polka Network band, which is Jerry Kaminsky's newest band. So we want to make sure that we say hello to him. And of course, that is the band currently that Nigel is performing with. We're going to also say hello once again to Linda and Marty Merwin, aka Linda Chipchak. Also Mom and Dad if they're tuned in. And we're also going to say hi to Marcia Moscato, Gail Wojtovich, Linda Petrozeski. Boy, we got a whole clan here tonight. And we're going to start things out the right way here. Here's Nigel on the bass.
Okay, polka time once again. Here we got the one called Don't Fight Girls. Jebice, Siedzivki.
But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention for just a second. Scrubby, he's just such a modest guy. We're going to feature him on the vocal on this one, but I don't know if a lot of you are aware of it. Scrubby was named the 1981 Male Vocalist of the Year from the United States Polka Association. What a guy.
Good night, everybody.
What a guy.
Thank you very much. And here we go with Don't Fight Girls, Jebice, Siedzivki. Tam, że jest ta woda, gdzie koniki piją, gdzie jest to ładny kła, baka do dziewki piją. Gdzie jest to ładny kła, baka do dziewki piją. Ej, nie bicie się dziewki dla Boga Świętego, dla Boga Świętego. Kiedy Panny kłakał do rana samego, kiedy Panny kłakał do rana samego. Moja dana, śpiewam se do rana, tak mi jest wesoła, tańcuję wokoła. Tak mi jest wesoła, tańcuję wokoła. Ej, nie bijcie się, dziewki, na Boga Świętego, na Boga Świętego. Kiedy Panny kłakał do rana samego, kiedy Panny kłakał do rana samego.
Gdzie jest ładny chłopak, to się dziewki piją. Gdzie jest ładny chłopak, to się dziewki piją. Ej, nie bijcie się dziewki dla Boga Świętego, dla Boga Świętego. Będzie Panny kłakał do rana samego. Będzie Panny kłakał do rana samego.
Now, kids, is it just me, or does that recording never, ever, ever get old? You could put that in a car, drive to a festival, a polka dance, and listen to some great bands while you're there, and you get back in the car and you listen to the whole thing all over again all the way home. Hey, Polkas After Dark, folks, is what you're tuned to. Thank you so much. Good evening for joining us. Pretty soon we're going to be talking live with Mr. David Allan Nigel Kurdziel, who was the IPA inductee this past year. We are so excited to bring him on so close to his induction and get a chance to chat with him, but we thank everybody for stopping in here. David Desolaris is here. Hello to you, David. Kathleen Graves is listening in from Canada. Also, we've got Jack Jacob Yaroshinsky. He is tuned in as well. And what did Chris Tansky say? She's got somebody celebrating an anniversary.
She does. It's actually her grandkids.
Wow.
Nicole and Ron. So happy anniversary to you guys as well.
There you go. Grandkids celebrating anniversaries. Wow. They shouldn't be that old to get married.
She doesn't
they should
seem
be like
that
9,
old.
10. They should be like 9, 10 years old, Chris.
She doesn't seem that old to have grandkids that are celebrating an anniversary. So.
Oh, gosh. Hey, we are excited, like I said, to be talking with Nigel real soon. But we've got a couple more tunes that we're going to bring up. Right now, here is, hey, you know what we got to do? I'll wait until just before we bring Nigel on to play this one. But we're going to switch gears. How about a tune that he played bass on with Eddie Blazonczyk's Versatones, the Let's Celebrate Again recording, most appropriately titled Let's Celebrate Again.
Let's celebrate again, like we did last summer. Let's celebrate again, like we did last year. You brought your friends, I brought mine. We had ourselves a good old time. Polkas celebrating all together. Friends, do you remember the good times that we had? People jumping up and down, it was a brand new fad. The song the band was playing had a happy, snappy flair. Folks were singing, dancing, celebrating everywhere. Let's celebrate again, like we did last summer. Let's celebrate again, like we did last year. You brought your friends, I brought mine. We had ourselves a good old time. Polka celebrating all together. The polka celebration always made you feel so fine. It took the dark and gloomy days and turned them to sunshine. Take your partner by the hand and get out on the floor. It's time to polka celebrate just like we did before. Let's celebrate again, like we did last summer. Let's celebrate again, like we did last year. You brought your friends, I brought mine. We had ourselves a good old time. Polka celebrating all together. Let's celebrate again like we did last summer. Let's celebrate again like we did last summer. Let's celebrate again like we did last year. You brought your friends, I brought mine. We had ourselves a good old time. Polka celebrating all together.
Pretty cool stuff right there. Polkas After Dark. That's Eddie Blazonczyk's Versatones off of the Let's Celebrate Again recording, song titled the exact same thing. Hey, Carol Barron, Chris Tansky, everybody here from Buffalo is saying, how about those bills? Yeah, I say we pay them. Electric's coming up, gas, water.
Don't forget the mortgage.
Don't forget, well, the mortgage, yeah, that's true. That's coming up pretty soon. No, hey, our Buffalo Bills did another fantastic thing on, I thought it was going to be a shutout. 37-3 was the final, and I noticed that your daughter and her husband Matt were up there
actually at the game.
At the game, because they live out that neck of the woods. Hey, Polkas After Dark is what you're tuned to. Once again, thanks ever so much for popping in here today and on the weekends as you guys normally do. Once again, Pete Chacho says, yep, that never gets old. Amen to that, Peter. Oh boy, we've got so many songs that Nigel has recorded with so many bands, and we're going to just kind of like scratched the surface on a few of these. But here is one called Happy Go Strange. And this tune was originally recorded by,
It's doing the music.
Oh, was originally, don't do that.
Okay.
What? No, please don't do that. That's bobbling your head. That's, no, stop.
At least you know we're not frozen if I'm doing that.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, we were able to figure something else out too, believe it or not. Yeah, we now have a super huge download and upload speed, so I don't think we're going to be slowing down anymore. Hey, once again, I'm getting off the beaten path here. Happy Go Strange, the project. This song was actually written by Whitey Rignetz with the Dynatones, the original Dynatones, Larry Trojak's group. Let's see, we've also got Amanda Di Sebastiano. She is here this evening. Hello to you, Amanda. Here's one called Happy Go Strange off of the First and 10, off of the project recording. And don't forget, the project is going to be playing on December the 30th at that big New Year's Eve extravaganza. We hope everybody is able to join us. Siree, that's the sound of the project. Jay-Z and the gang and every one of those guys are going to be entertaining you over at the Embassy Suites Hotel. And that's going to be coming up. Yeah, we're going to be telling you a lot about that after the interview with Mr. David Allan, Nigel Kurdziel. We're going to say good evening to Audrey Palczynski. She is here. Gosh, she remembers Nige from the old Buffalo Broadway Grill days. Holy smokes. And Chopin's and all those great...
Did most of you guys start at the Broadway Grill locally, do you know? I mean, I know you're not local, but...
Well, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of bands that kind of performed there. I don't know if they actually got their start there. Let's see, Dynatone, Steel City Brass, the G-Notes, a lot of bands performed over there.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a good
Since you seem
question.
to know history.
Not that much, that's for sure. Hey, Adam Anton is joining us. Hello, Mr. Adam. Nice to see you here. Erica Belanda McMaster, she is in the crowd. Stephen Novak, hello to you, Stephen. Great to see you at the game the other evening. It was a very, very nice time. Very nice weather. Hey, we're going to get an obetic, switch some things up. Nigel on the bass guitar here with Jerry Kaminsky's band. Here's one called Do I Like It, Obetic.
Do I like it? Yes, I like it. When you whisper in my ear things that no one else should hear. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. When our kisses mingle, do I tingle right from the start? That's so strong you hear a thump from my poor little heart. When you're jealous as can be, 'cause you're so in love with me. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. Just the way you did last night. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. When you whisper in my ear things that no one else should hear. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. When our kisses mingle, do I tingle right from the start? That's so drum you hear a thump from my poor little heart. When you're jealous as can be, 'cause you're so in love with me. Do I like it? Yes, I like it. Do I like it? Yes, I like it.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit of Jerry Kaminsky's band out of Michigan. And again, featuring the bass player extraordinaire, Mr. David Nigel Kurdziel. Also on drums, that was Mr. Pete Chacho. And we do thank Pete once again for coming out here.
He said 5-string bass.
5-string bass.
So he must have been playing a 5-string bass.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Pete Chacho would know, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. 5-string bass, unless maybe he's giving us some kind of a subliminal message. We're supposed to be, you're supposed to be drinking 5 strings bass vodka or something like that. That could very well be. Hey, who did you have request a song by TBC from back when?
Amanda.
Amanda Di Sebastiano. Hey, here's one called Let's Get Back to Me and You. there you go. That's the sound of TBC. I guess that wasn't the particular era. I do apologize, Miss Amanda. But
it did say they played it
us-
at Seven Springs that year, like
Oh.
1997. So,
Oh, okay.
so technically, yes and no.
Good. Then that will work. That's perfect.
That's what you get for having me look
Hey,
up a song.
guys, gals, thank you so much for tuning us in. Gosh, we've got a whole bunch of people here. John Linder is here. We're going to say hello to you. Also, Tricia Rohleder, a.k.a. Tricia Rindak. She is here. Val Bukowski is here in the house. Holy smokes, make way for Val. But right now, we're going to make way for a very special gentleman here. And I have with us on our live line at Polkas After Dark, live from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Mr. David Nigel Kurdziel. Nige, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Robin.
Oh, beautiful. That is great. Nigel, thank you ever so much for taking time out of your busy Sunday. I know time is crucial nowadays, and gosh, especially, well, you just turned 60, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I turned 60 back in May.
Oh, wow.
Time flies.
And I know there was a huge birthday party for you because I was talking to Pete Chacho about it, and he had alluded to the fact. Hey, also, we've got Diane Kopka here with us, so we want to say hello to you, Diane. But, Nige, once again, congratulations on something that is long overdue, but you made it, buddy, and that is into the IPA Hall of Fame. Want to ask you, first of all, when did you first find out that you were going to be inducted? I'm sorry. Not indicted.
Yeah.
You weren't indicted.
I think it was right before my birthday, actually, in probably the end of April. I got a call from Mike Matusek, and he told me that I got elected, and I've been on kind of cloud nine with it ever since.
Oh man, that is so great. That really, really is. Hey, Nigel, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions like I usually ask every musician that I get the honor and the opportunity to interview. How old were you when you heard your first polka?
Oh boy, it was very young, probably because I grew up in Buffalo, listening to all the Buffalo polka shows that my folks had on, Sunday mornings. So it was, probably 7-8 years old.
Oh wow! And then, how old were you when you picked up the bass? What is the bass guitar your first instrument? Because I know you play piano and some other stuff. Was the bass your first instrument?
I took a little bit of guitar lessons at first, probably when I was probably about 9-10 years old. But I got interested in bass, and I think I started bass lessons at Johnny Johnson's School of Music, Johnny Benashik, over on Broadway. So that was probably when I was about 11 years old.
Holy smokes. Now, you have a very famous cousin, and that, of course, was Gino Kurdziel.
Gino, right, with the New Yorkers and the originator of the G-Notes Orchestra. So, yeah. Big inspiration for me, because I have a lot of memories of, going out to a lot of the church picnics and lawn fates and stuff. And I never got to see him play with the New Yorkers because that was before my time, but I certainly did with the G-Notes and, him being a bass player and everything. It was, kind of inspiring for me.
Not just a bass player, but he had one whale of a vocal. Everybody loved his singing.
Yeah, and he was a great front man and yes, really good with the crowd and stuff. So yeah, he was really the whole package when it came to polkas.
I remember hanging out with him, believe it or not, in Cheektowaga after he was done playing, and I was maybe playing with the Concertina All-Stars, filling in a couple of times, and I got a chance to chat with him numerous times, and what a great guy, so down to earth. Hey, also,
he was.
Also I want to mention that you are part of a musical family. You've got some brothers that play instruments as well. Let's talk about them real quick.
So my older brother Mike plays drums with Focus right now, and we've played together in various bands, especially when we were growing up. And my brother Kevin plays accordion. He's been out in Jersey right now, but he's played with a lot of bands, including Dynatones. We played together for several years in that. So, it's we got a few in the family.
And very talented guys too, I gotta say. Let me ask you this: who was the very first polka band that you played with? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Steel City Brass from Lackawanna back. I'm going to say 77 or 78, probably. That was like my first real polka band.
Mark and Kyle Cohan. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. And I think you had replaced Ronner Banzik at the time, because I think Ronnie was playing with that.
He was playing, yeah, he was playing bass. And then I don't know why he left, but they were looking for a bass player, and I had played a couple jobs with the horn player at that time, John Andrzejczyk, and he put my name out there to the guys, and had my audition. I think it was at a Buffalo Polka Boosters meeting, and
Oh, wow.
I went out to that and played a couple sets with those guys, and they took me into bands. So that's where it all kind of started for me.
Beautiful. Now, we're going to fast forward a little bit. Your career then took off, and I mean literally took off, with the Dynatones. You started with them back in 1979 until, what, 84? 84,
yeah. And it was great. I mean, just what an opportunity for me to be, young at whatever I was, 17, 18 years old, and playing with that band. It was just a thrill. Working with Scrubby and Larry and all those guys, Mark Chepach, early on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, here. And you and I had the chance to share the stage and the platform from 1983 to 1984, because I moved up to Buffalo in 83. And boy, I'll tell you what, there are people that still talk today about how the rhythm section rocked the house. And that was Scrubby, Al Pietkowski, yourself, and I had the pleasure of working drums alongside you. And boy, I'll tell you what, the creativity flowed. There's still a lot of audio tapes that are out there. If you remember, Janice and Eddie Kuchmarski, they were always front and center every time at the Broadway Grill. And he would always tape us on cassette. Well, Andrew, of course, got a hold of those and kind of digitized them a little bit and made them sound real pretty. But there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. And I really wish that there was some video stuff out there, because Mike Charney puts out a whole bunch of videos, as you know, on his website and also on Facebook.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was before the days of people taking videos, and you didn't have the camera phones and all that you have now. So It is a shame that there's no visual of that. But there are a lot of audio tapes out there and stuff. And every once in a while, I come across something and listen to it, and just puts a big smile on my face, because it was so much fun.
Oh, it sure was. Hey, and also, let's see. Then you played with the Reformed Dynatones from 1988 to 1990.
Yes.
And then in 91, you joined another colossal guy, a huge entertainer, and I'm speaking of John Gura and Gurale.
I think, like you said, 1990, I think, is when I started with them. And another Polka Hall of Famer, John Gura, and had a wonderful time with those guys, playing up in Canada for most of the stuff. And it was a little bit different, because we didn't do so many like polka dances, but we played a lot of private parties and weddings and stuff, and always had a great time with that.
Now, when did you move to Grand Rapids, Nigel?
I moved in 1994. I got married in 91. Linda and I lived in Buffalo until 94, and then we moved up here because this is her hometown.
Gotcha.
And been here ever since, and absolutely love the city, and the music scene out here is really, really good.
Yeah. Now, you know that my ADD kicks in during these interviews, if you've ever heard a few of them. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth with different things.
Okay.
What was it like to have Marley up there handing off the award to you?
Yeah, that was really special for me. She reached out to me when she knew I was getting into the Hall of Fame. And, I really hadn't even thought about who I was going to ask as a presenter. And, she just came up with the idea of doing it, and it was really thrilling for me and very emotional.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, we're showing a whole bunch of pictures courtesy of Les Kapuscinski from Canada, because he is our personal photographer. He gives us a lot of stuff.
Oh, he does a great job.
Yes, he does. Jerry and I always laugh and say he's really not a photographer. Les takes memories.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's huge.
Exactly.
But we're showing a bunch of different pictures there. And also of Linda. Boy, we really miss her. Something dear She was a real sweetheart.
Yeah, she was, and she was one who really wanted to see me get into the Hall of Fame, and unfortunately, she wasn't here physically with us to to see it. But I know she was looking down on us back,
that right.
at the banquet and stuff like that. So I really miss her.
She got to see the presentation. Now let's go into a band called the Michigan Connection. You played with Paul Romanowski and some of the greats there
for a couple of years. Kevin Adams and Mike Fudala, and it was really it was nice. We played a lot around Michigan, so I got to kind of do the Detroit polka scene a little bit, which I outside of playing occasionally with the Dynatones in that part of the state, I never got to really do a lot of the church picnics and stuff like that. So we got to do a lot of that, and that was certainly a lot of fun, and just a great group of people out at that part of the state.
And right now, you are working with Jerry Kaminsky. You played with the Merrymakers there for a while, Jerry Kaminsky's band, and now he formed a new band, and it's called Polka Network. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, he started that back in 2012. I think it was right after the Versatones ended their run, and Jerry wanted to do something locally, and I've been with him ever since. And another situation where I fell into just a real great situation with a super bunch of guys, very talented, and I can't say enough about how important it is to be on stage with guys that you really enjoy being with and look up to as musicians. And it's been fantastic.
Nigel, I'm going to ask you a personal question. What does it really, really feel like to know that you created a monster for bass players? Everybody that picks up a bass guitar has always wanted to sound like Nigel. What does that feel like deep down inside, buddy?
It's a nice feeling when I get feedback from musicians, bass players, and say, you inspired me, or you were the reason why I picked up bass. I never set out to really do that. I never set out to really change anything. I really wanted to just sort of get the bass involved in the musical arrangement a little bit more. I mean, I was inspired by guys like Vinny Horashak, Vinny Azarelli, locally, guys like Allan, who was, one of the premier tasteful bass players of all time. He was one of my early influences. And I kind of took, what I was learning from them, and I see my style as sort of a composite of a lot of these guys. But it's fantastic when you've influenced people and you made a difference, and I'm really thrilled when somebody comes up to me and says something like that.
Yeah, here. Well, they mean it when they say it, and they say it when they mean it. That's for sure. Now, you and I also had the opportunity, before we get a chance to talk about the Versatones, you and I were tapped on the shoulder by Mr. Frank Borzymowski to do not one but two recordings with some very talented guys as well.
Yeah. Those were a lot of fun.
Oh, they sure were. Those were recorded, of course, in Gary Ramey's studio, Peppermint Studios in Youngstown, Ohio. And
love working with Gary. Yes. Yeah, he is just he's the premier of this industry as far as recording goes.
He's a class act, and he's been doing
always
it for so long.
Always loved working with him. Yeah, loved working with him. Always loved being down at Peppermint Studios. Just always a great experience. Always very positive.
Yeah, I hear that. Now, let's take a step on the bandstand. The very first time you played with Eddie Blazonczyk's Versatones, do you remember where it was?
I had come up and played a couple of songs maybe when Eddie went on drums, and I played, the honky set with him and stuff like that. I don't exactly remember.
Oh, did I lose you there, Nigel? Nigel, I think we dropped out here. Let me get Nigel back on the telephone here. Let's go ahead and play a tune in the background while I get Nigel back on.
Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. When it's time for leaving, I hope
Nige, do we have you back on the phone with us?
Trying to make a living and doing the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. I'm on my way to New Orleans this morning, leaving out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're always having a good time down on the bayou low. Them Delta women think the world of me. Lord, I was born a rambling man.
Let's see here. I do believe we now have Nigel back with us. I don't know what happened. The gremlins in the cell phone industry have kind of jumped in, but can you hear me now, Nige?
I can hear you. Yeah, that's
Perfect.
technology for you.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? And so once again, I do want to ask, because you were cut off when you were delivering the information, you went up and you filled in with Eddie Bozanchek when he went back to play drums on some honky-style stuff. And that's kind of like how you got involved with the Versatones.
Sort of, yeah. My original dealing with the Versatones was cutting albums for them. Back in 1985, Eddie reached out to me and asked me to cut upright bass for him because he never played bass on the albums. He always had somebody in the studio doing it, Joe Dudek, and years ago Sasha Mikrut. So he asked me to do it. I think Al Piotkuski was the one who recommended me to Eddie, and so I started cutting albums, and I did everything with them through the end of the Versatones in 2011. And I think it was 2002 that Eddie decided to retire, and then Junior offered me the full-time position. Yeah, and and then I started playing live with them. So, and I got about a good 10, 11 years in there. So it was fantastic.
And of course, a lot of recordings from what I'm showing here in my database. Well, how many recordings have you actually done, Nige? It's got to be over 50.
I think I'm around 70 between CDs, and there's some singles in there, and there's probably some compilations like greatest hits and stuff like that got released. So yeah, it's about 70.
Okay, so you recorded with the Ampalaires too, did you not?
I did, yep. That had to be 87 perhaps. I did. I ended up doing 3 albums in 1 week, which was it was really pretty wild. We ended up doing the 25th anniversary album for Eddie. I did the Jerry and Al album, Squeezebox Serenade, and then the last thing we did on that Sunday was cut that Ampalaires album. So yeah, it was a lot of work.
Wow, what was it like recording in? I take it that was Bel Air Studios, wasn't it?
Yeah, yep, Bel Air in Chicago. It was a small studio. They still back in those days used analog, so everything went to tape, and you really had to concentrate because it wasn't like recording in a bigger studio where you had a lot of separation and stuff. There was a lot of bleed, through the instruments. So when you're cutting, if somebody makes a mistake, you're cutting a rhythm section, you all have to start again. There were no punch-ins or anything. Yeah. So you really had to concentrate and put your best foot forward and make sure that you nailed your part, so you didn't get caught with having any mistakes on there.
Interesting. Were there a lot of songs that you did, with different recording artists? Were there a lot of songs where you had to stop and start over again?
Oh yeah. It happened all the time where we would run it down, we would play it, and then somebody, either me or somebody else, just missed a chord change or something like that, and then we'd stop and we'd cut it again, and you just keep doing it until you get it right, until everybody felt comfortable with what was going to tape. Yeah,
gotcha. I also have a gentleman that we interviewed last weekend, Kelly Grahalski. He's saying hello and what a great guy you are, and a lot of great times that you guys spent together.
We did, yeah, and I got to play a job last year with Kelly out in his area, which was it was a lot of fun. It was a church function, so it was nice. I haven't seen him in years before that, so it was really nice to reconnect with him and work with him on stage.
And a lot of people don't know this about you, Nige, but you also recorded with Wanda and Stephanie,
Yes.
Happy Richie's Polka Band, Little Wally,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the Steel City Brass, John Gooda. And you had mentioned the Ample Airs. There's just a whole plethora of recordings here that I'm just looking through in total amazement. But now, let's talk a little bit about the project. A special band that is going to be resurrecting on December the 30th, which Jerry and I are going to be able to attend that. We've got a live welcome party from 8 to midnight on that Friday night, and we are going to have a lot of fun just as we did last year. But when Puko Yashu told us that you guys were going to be the headliner along with the Beat for that evening, everybody was just blown away, and there is a lot of feedback about that. Tell me a little bit about how the project got started. How were they formed, Nige?
We started that band, maybe in 2014, 2015, and we really got it together just to do a lounge party for USPA. Oh. And it was just supposed to be a one-off thing. Matt Rosinski had put it together. We had played that, and then I think we got booked for it again the next year. And then, we were having so much fun at rehearsals and enjoying, the whole process of putting the songs together. And we started thinking about, maybe doing a few more jobs, and people were reaching out to us and asking us, if we were interested. So, we started taking a few jobs, but it's a side project for all of us. We all play with different bands and stuff like that. It's always hard to schedule a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do, but we were able to get a few in there, and we came up with the idea of cutting a CD, and it's been a really, really great experience.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to New Year's Eve?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to the job. Looking forward to reconnecting with those guys. The rehearsals, we rehearsed more than we played, so we had so much fun when we were doing that, and looking forward to starting up with those guys again very shortly.
Well, it's kind of funny because I have talked with the Oksheshik brothers, with Jay-Z, with Mr. Meduja, and touched base with Peter. And what we're going to do is we're going to interview each one of them in the month of November and December, coming up to that big event with the Beat and also the project on December the 30th. We're going to be mentioning a lot of that shortly after. Hey, Nigel, let me ask you, and we also have a song that you did with Jerry Kaminsky's Merrymakers, I believe, that you sang, which is Daddy's Polka. Love that song. You also sang it with the IPA tribute band at the IPA induction dance. That was also awesome. But tell us a little bit about your favorite. Is that your favorite song to sing? Because I know you've sang other songs on stage.
I have. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. There's a few others that I've done, like with the Versatones. I always enjoy doing Blue Blue Day. Mm-hmm. Old Versatone favorite. We've Got It All Together. I think I would have to say that was one of my favorites that I got to sing. And one of the reasons is because Linda always loved that song. And getting to sing that when she was out there, it was always special for me.
Yeah, great. Tell me, do you have a favorite place that you have played that has stuck in your mind forever and a day?
I don't know if there's any one favorite place. I mean, I always enjoy playing, the smaller rooms. I mean, Broadway Grill. I mean, that was always just a special place to play. Here in town, our home base is St. Adalbert's 5th Street Hall. I've probably logged more stage time at that place than any other venues. So, any of those small places like that have always kind of those are the ones that I really enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Severn Springs, some of the festivals like that were always really good, and always had great time there too.
What was the largest crowd, do you remember, that you performed in front of?
I think it was probably Severn Springs, maybe back probably right after the Live Wire album came out, and that was at the time when they had music in the front hall and the back hall.
Right,
and,
right.
I remember I remember we were playing in that front hall, and it was just there was nobody dancing. I mean, everybody was just standing in front of the stage. It was packed from the stage out to the back end of that hall. It's pretty good sized rooms, so I can't really put a number on it, but I just remember that being one of the biggest crowds that I've ever seen being on stage.
Gotcha. Who did you idolize growing up in the music industry?
Well, as far as polkas go, definitely, Eddie Blazonczyk. I it just goes without saying, his legacy in this business is like no others. And then, for non-polkas, I mean, I grew up a big Elton John fan, and one of my all-time favorite bass players is the original bass player from the Elton John band, Dee Murray. And he was a big inspiration to me. I think he's one of the reasons why I chose bass, because I just was drawn to the stuff that he was playing on the albums and stuff. So those are probably my two biggest influences.
Gotcha. Now, how many different basses do you have? I remember the Rickenbacker. Do you still have that?
I don't have the Rickenbacker. I sold that quite a few years ago. I have two Precisions. I have a 1975 Precision, a 2001 Precision. Ooh. I have my 5-string jazz bass, which I use that pretty much with the Versatones through my whole tenure with them. I still got the old Steinberger bass.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That I have the headless stock on that one, and then and now I'm using a Fender Mustang. I kind of switched over to a short scale bass. Really like the sound of those, and I still have my upright bass, which I'm kind of staring at right now in the corner of the living room, which I'll pick up once in a while and play.
Wow! Now you also helped a lot of people get to where they are musically. I'm talking Kyle Cohan's brother, Chris Stamer. You kind of helped him a little bit along the way. Also, Maria from Box On.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about that, mentoring some of these folks.
Well, it's fun. It's very rewarding, and I'm at a point in my career now where the more of that I can do, the better it is, because I mean, it's a matter of wanting to give back. And when you sit down with somebody and they ask you questions and you try to help them along, and you see that they're getting it, and you see a difference in their playing, even if it's a small difference, it's just again, it's a very rewarding thing. So I was lucky. I'd really like to do more of that.
Wow. Well, good for you. Good for you for taking the initiative to do that. Nigel, I got to ask you too. 48 years that you've been at this. Did you ever dream in your wildest dreams that your musical career would have put you where you are today, being known to so many thousands of people in the polka music industry?
No, it was never a thought that I'd be doing it this long. But I've been so fortunate. Every time, like one opportunity ended, there was another one there that, another door opened, and it was, I decided to go for it. It was like when, I left Dynatones, I got some, opportunity to play with John Guda, and then I moved to Michigan, and I didn't really think I was going to play anymore, once I moved to Michigan.
Really?
Because there just were no, opportunities there, and then all of a sudden Michigan Connection calls, and then, that ended, and before I knew it, I was playing with Jerry, and I had the opportunity to play with the Versatones. So, it just kept going from one to the other, and it's got me where I am now with Polka Network, and hopefully we're going to do it for many more years.
Are you guys talking about putting a recording out? Have you done something already that maybe is in the can that's going to be released, or has Jerry or any of the guys talked about doing anything?
We haven't done anything yet. We do get a lot of requests from people, they come out to see us and stuff. They're asking if we have anything recorded. So we're sort of thinking about it. I don't think we've actually sat down and game planned anything yet, but I'm hoping in the near future we get into the studio and do something, because I think this would be a really nice band to have in the studio. I think it would be a really fantastic thing to a really good experience for everybody.
Sure. And it's nice because you're saying, people are coming up and asking you should actually have like a gimmick, Nige, where you have just a CD with no cover on it, no writing on it, hand it to them and say, take a listen to this. I think you're going to enjoy it. And it's something like the greatest hits of the Eagles or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That would be funny. That would be awesome.
That would be a Nigel thing, I know for a fact. You and I had a lot of fun on stage and off stage.
We did. I love those years. It was we had a couple years together with the Dynatones and even the stuff. Again, you were talking about Frank Bosamowski, and we didn't get to play that many jobs outside of the albums that we did, but they were really fun jobs. I think we did Frankenmuth. I think we did one in Buffalo, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Did we in Buffalo? Maybe. I
remember playing a job with Frank, but maybe that wasn't Frank and Friends. Maybe that was something else that we did. But I remember doing something on Abbott Road at the old roller rink there. But and then there was one or two that we did together. So that was a lot of fun.
And also, I like to ask this question too. Don't divulge who you work for, but can you tell us a little bit about what you do for a living, Nige? And again, you don't have to mention the company.
I work for a paper distributor. So, I'm kind of a 9-to-5 guy, do warehouse work, receiving. So I unload trucks all day and put away stock. Nothing glamorous, but, I enjoy it. A great group of people I work with, small company, and, a lot of fun. They've always been very supportive of my playing, too, because, there were compromises there, especially in my years with the Versatones, where, I had to play some games with the schedule and stuff to make sure that, I got back to work on time, or, if I had to be late, and they understood. So that was always a big plus, and it's a blessing that I've been able to do that. And I've been with the company now for, I think, going on 28 years. So.
Oh, geez. Holy smokes. That's great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Very lucky.
So I have two more questions for you. I can't believe it's 6:00 already. Boy, we could have talked for probably another hour and a half here, but
time flies, sure.
Yeah, but let me ask you two more questions, and you've got to have an answer for this. Do you have a favorite breakdown story? You have to have at least one, where you drove maybe by yourself to meet the guys, or you drove in the bus, the van, or whatever the case may be. Do you have something where you have a favorite breakdown story?
Well, I do remember coming back from Seven Springs with the Versatones. We were on the bus. Fred Hootie was our driver.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember having, it was just a nice Sunday afternoon. I'm in the back. I'm having a vodka cranberry, and we're listening to some jazz on the sound system. And all of a sudden, I feel this little shake on the bus.
Ooh.
And I look out the window and I see this wheel going by. And I go to Fred. I says, Freddie, did you see that? Somebody lost their tire. And he goes, yeah, I know, it's ours. So, yeah. I was like, wow. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank God you guys were able to get off to the side of the road safely.
We were, yeah. Freddie did a great job. He kept the bus on the road and, got it off of there safely for us. And then for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, we're just walking the side of the road looking for this tire. And Jimmy Shizega found it. We did find the tire. So.
Wow. Nige, you've had a successful career. You've worked with a lot of polka greats. We've lost a lot of polka greats. You mentioned, Eddie, Jimmy Shizega, and, Scrubby, Sonny Wonderlick. Sonny just celebrated a birthday recently, and we said a happy heavenly birthday to him last night. But, we had a lot of fun with the 15-9 recording with the Dynatones and so on. Also, another guy that I have to mention, because he was a powerhouse to play with the Dynatones when I came back in 95, also with the Buffalo Touch, and that is Mike Nowakowski.
I miss Mike dearly. He was such a good friend, and it's sad thinking about all these guys that we've lost, but at the same time, you sort of think about how blessed you were to have known these people and have had the opportunity and the privilege to work with them for so many years and make so many good memories. So we just got to hang on to those memories.
Amen to that. Nigel, and my very last question to you is, in closing, What would David Kurdziel say to somebody that wants to get started in music? And, you know, it could be any instrument, any genre of music whatsoever. What advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, I think it's important to obviously you got to hone your craft, and you got to be, you know, diligent in practicing. You want to take influences from other musicians and try to incorporate that into your own player, but don't be afraid to incorporate your own vision into the music, whether it's polkas or rock or jazz. You know, be true, follow your instincts, and, you know, whether you're playing in a band or you're recording, always listen to the people around you and make sure that, you know, you take advice from them, because at the end of the day, whether you're, again, if it's a recording or you're with a band, you're all there for the same purpose. You want to make the best music possible, and you want to create the best product. So, you know, that would sort of be my advice. Don't get discouraged, and, you know, just stick with it, because learning an instrument for some is very easy, but it's difficult for others.
Sure.
And, you know, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. So don't be afraid of the work and dedication to make it happen.
Hey, Nigel, beside playing bass, you also are an excellent pianist as well. Have you done any piano work besides with the Dynatones when we recorded?
Yeah, I did. I think I did a couple albums. I know I did one with the boys. I did the piano on John Guda's album when I recorded with them back in 90 or 91. I did Mission Connection. We did an album. So I did the piano on that one too. So yeah, there were a few. I did a couple with London Stephanie too, where I cut bass and piano. I always like doing both because I could match up the bass lines.
Yeah, very easily.
That sound from the old Versatone albums years ago that they had. That was you know, very inspiring to me.
Yeah, here. Nigel, I can't thank you enough. Jerry and
I. Well, thank you
for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Give a hug to Marley and Ben for us, please. It was also great to see Ben and chat with him. And you know what? I remembered something that I have to share with you, and this will be on recording forever. I remember one time when you were playing with the Versatones and you got off the stage, and he came up to you, and I'm standing next to you, and he said, "Hey, I wrote a song." I don't know if you know where I'm going with this or not.
I think so. I think I remember this, yeah.
Let's say it together. I don't know if you'll remember this or not. Hey, Chicken.
Hey, Chicken, right.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. He used to come up with so many songs like that he said he wrote. I still haven't heard him. He had another one called, an abetta called Pick a Berry, which years ago, and I don't know where he got that from. And, you know, he did sing it to me a couple of times when he was really young, and it was so hilarious.
But that was priceless. And he said, Hey, Chicken. And you said, well, that sounds a little bit like Hey, Joe. And he looks at you and said, yeah, Dad, but it's not. and I mean, again, these are the stupid things that I remember, but they are they're embedded in your mind forever, Nige.
They are. There's just those little precious moments like that happen that, like you said, they just stay with you.
Yeah, here. Hey, well, again, God bless you, sir. Continued success in your musical career, in your work career. You got 5 more years or 6 more years, and you'll be able to retire. I'm still looking at a couple yet before I pull the plug, that's for sure. But again, I love you, buddy. You know that. You've always had a special place in my heart, Nige. And
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun sharing these memories with you and all the people listening and stuff. So it was really great.
Beautiful. And we've got a song coming up featuring Nigel on the vocal that he cut with Jerry Kaminsky's band. Here's one called Daddy's Polka.
A po to grusią, po to zieloną.
wieczory opłakiwała. Smutne wieczory opłakiwała. Kochała stale. Kochała stale. Minęły smutki, zostały żale. Minęły smutki, zostały żale.
Jerry Kaminsky's band, and that, of course, is featuring Nigel on the vocal as well as the bass guitar. We can't thank Nigel enough for coming in here and sharing some stories with us, some precious moments. Got a chance to talk about a lot of folks, including Scrubby, Sonny, Mike Nowakowski, just some class people that unfortunately are no longer with us, but have also left an impact on our industry and on our personal lives as well. Hey, folks, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We want to say hello and thank you for joining us here. We're going to go through, just say a real quick happy anniversary once again to Sharon and Tom Golden, also to Linda and Marty Merwin. I know that Chris Tansky had also mentioned that her granddaughter, let's see, her grandkids, Nicole and Ron, also celebrated an anniversary. And we're going to say hello once again to Rick and Jen Pianowski. They're always here with us. Jonathan Skachillas, Art and Linda Gaylor, they're still here with us. Lisa and Greg Skowronek, they're checking out Mr. John Gura down at the Uniontown Polish Club. So we want to say hi to you guys once again. Say hello to John and the gang. Chris Curtis is here with us from Ohio. Kathy Wiggs, gosh, you guys are fantastic. I know that there were a lot of moments that you were probably scratching your head saying, hey, I remember that, as Nigel was mentioning some things, Kath and Wiggs. Let's see here. Pete Chacho, of course, another fantastic musician here, has played with Nigel for many, many years. Let's see here. Marcia Moscato. Gail Wojtowicz is still here. Looks like Linda Petrozeski from Niagara Falls. David Dasaleris is still here. Jack Yaroshinsky, he is still here. Kathy Graves. Oh, gosh, who else is here? Kathy Barron. Jerry, who do you have over there?
I have Roger Kane and Loretta Meckel, as well as Bobby Calvert, Mark Schwoger and Maria, and Mary Ann Budzinski,
yeah, Mary Ann, oh gosh.
as well as Ashley Torres.
All right, well, Mary Ann brought up some fun things too. She says, do you remember Livewire? And I do remember before it was released, because that's all the buzz was down in Pennsylvania. I was playing with the Sounds at that time in 81. And, you know, when that thing came out, it was like, okay, this thing's going to be something. Who would have ever thought 42 years later that this thing is still one of the best recordings ever that came out of Wham, that came out of Gary Ramey's studio, Peppermint, Youngstown, Ohio, with a lot of the equipment, because that was recorded live at the Matthew Glab Post over in Lackawanna, New York. And people were saying, oh gosh, you know, there was a snowstorm. You know what I want to do? I want to find out from the people here, if you were at that recording, tell us a little bit about the inspiration when you walked into the hall, and then also when you walked out of the hall, because people were saying that it was a snowy night. They said it wasn't going to be anybody there, and the place was mobbed, as you can hear from the recordings and stuff. We've got a lot of songs yet that we want to play by Mr. Nigel Kurdziel, and here's one right now that he recorded with Frank Borzamowski and friends. Here's one called I Want Someone, a tune that was recorded by Jimmy Weber and the Sounds way, way back.
I want someone to hug and call me sweetheart. I want someone to love and take my name. A special girl to take my love and not lead me astray. A special girl to never go away. I want someone to hug and call me sweetheart. I want someone to say she'll be my wife. Then we'll live and love together and our hearts will be as one. And share our dreams until the day is done. I want someone to hug and call me sweetheart. I want someone to love and take my name. A special girl to take my love and not lead me astray. A special girl to never go away. I want someone to hug and call me sweetheart. I want someone to say she'll be my wife. Then we'll live and love together and our hearts will be as one. And share our dreams until the day is done.
Hey folks, join everybody at the USPA for their Polka Extravaganza coming up Saturday, November the 4th of 2023. Music by polka country musicians and 7, but it's at a new location. That's right, join everyone at the USPA Polka Extravaganza being held at the Crown Plaza, 7230 Engle Road in Middleburg Heights, Ohio. To get a reservation, call 877-227-6963 and use group code POL, just as in polka. Hey, or you can contact Cindy direct at 216-299-0934 or Cheryl at 440-570-3407. 6 hours of fun-filled polka music, and that is located at the Crown Plaza, 7230 Engle Road, Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Polka country musicians along with Buffalo's very own 7. You can visit their website at uspapolka.com. And please make sure that you mention the group code POL if you're calling the Crown Plaza direct. That's the Polka Extravaganza coming up Saturday, November the 4th for the USPA.
Said I wonder where you are and who you're with. We're holding in your arms too.
And kids, since we have your attention, we also want to make mention of this, and that is the USPA Extravaganza along with the Kinloch Fire Hall Polka Weekend. So that's taking place November the 4th and the 5th. And here's Jerry to mention a little bit about the bus trip.
Aha! I am. Okay.
You
USPA Extravaganza and Kinloch Fire Hall Polka Weekend, November 4th and 5th, 2023. Live music will be by Buffalo's own Seven and the Polka Country Musicians. The bus trip will be leaving from Buffalo, New York. It includes transportation, hotel for one night, and admission to both dances. And it's only $199 per person based on double occupancy. You can get more information by reaching out to, sorry, I had to reset my screen.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Peter Wojcik at 716-480-9137 or Kayla Urbanchik at 616-635-1982. And they'll be happy to make your reservation for you and get you all set to go.
And we hear that that's going to be a pretty nice trip. They've already got a lot of folks booked on it. So if you're looking to take the bus out there, which is probably the safest way to get there and back home.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about drinking and driving. Well, you can drink, but let somebody else drive for you for a change. And that is going to be a lot of fun. So that, of course, is the Polka Extravaganza weekend with the guys from Seven and also the Polka Country Musicians at not one, but two different places. Jarrett, why don't you give another shout out to some more people here? I want to say hello to Darlene Reel. She is here, and also John and Marge Subcheck from the Villages down in Florida.
We got Marty Benias with us and
Hey,
Alice
Marty.
Fischler. Chris Tansky said she really enjoyed the interview. Kelly Grahowski gave us a big thumbs up.
All right.
Val, sorry I didn't see it till now. He said to ask Nigel about Poland, but I didn't see that until now, and I apologize for that. Let's see, who else is hanging out with us? We have Ashley Torres and Marianne Bazinski, as well as Mark Schwoger with Maria, Bobby Calvert, Loretta Mackel, and Roger Kane.
And Danny Roy and Carolyn are here along with Mr. Dave Rosansky. Ron Peruki, he is here. Mike Magden, of course. We've got a lot of folks here on the sidelines in the cheap seats. Jan Dressler, of course, is here. We're going to say hi to her. Karen Hootie, also my brother down in Dunkirk, which, of course, is Steve Gramala. We got a chance to hang yesterday, and I don't know if he heard the broadcast last night, but Jerry was able to order those decals for you. For the vehicle, and they should be in, what did you say, October 2nd
after the
through the
5th.
Oh, after
Yeah.
the 5th. Okay.
So Marianne chimed in and she said the vibe of the evening of Livewire was over the top with the
Haruku's Hellraisers.
And that they were in rare form, and some of the Michigan Rowdies, other polka musicians present. It was a night to remember. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Hey, Marianne, you got to chime in there, too. Was it a snowy night, or anybody here that was at the recording? Let us know. Was that a snowy night? I had heard rumors that it was, but until we find out for sure.
I wasn't there, so
from
I
people,
can't say.
Yeah, nor was I, unfortunately. Hey, Rob Milka is saying hello from Atlanta, Michigan this evening. Atlanta, Michigan. I've flown into Atlanta, but never Atlanta, Michigan. But I'm sure if I do, Rob Milka's going to pick me up. That's for sure.
Awesome.
Hey, guys, gals, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We've got another song coming up here that Nigel played bass on. Here's one by the Brass Works, one called It Takes People Like You.
It takes people like you to make people like me. When you're dancing the polka, it's so easy to see that your friends and your neighbors are such fine company. It takes people like you to make people like me. Though the sun may stop shining for a while, you can brighten it each day with a smile. So wherever you go and whatever you see, it takes people like you to make people like me. It takes people like you to make people like me. From the Valley Day, Chicago to the
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know, that would be another great guy to interview. I have reached out to him. He has not gotten back to me as of yet. And that's Allan Pawlowski. Played accordion, an excellent vocalist. Gosh, he plays sax, clarinet, just about anything and everything. But we got to try to get a hold of him at some point and see if we can't kidnap him and bring him on. Let's see. Marianne Bozinski said, I believe it started snowing when we were inside the dance, and it was quite a few inches when they got out of the dance. See? Bobby Calvert would remember more, I think. You know what? I don't think Bobby was hanging out with Scrubby and Trojak. I don't think Bobby remembers very much about that evening.
I don't know.
But
when we were visiting with him, he really knew.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's
he
true.
was bringing up some awesome memories while we were there visiting.
He's a plethora of information, too, when it comes to all of this stuff. Hey, Bobby Calvert, we're going to say hello to you once again. Hey, here's a song that was recorded by Steel City Brass. Here's one called the Poopsie Polka, and of course, Nige on the bass.
Hey, the best in polkas right here and right now. We've got the Steel City Brass, this one entitled Poopsie.
I know that voice.
Kocham dziewczynę, Pupsi nazwana, gruba jak beczka, ale wesoła. Jak mieściszka do hołota, myśli, że jestem sierota. Kocham dziewczynę, Pupsi nazwana. Hej Pupsi, Pupsi, chodź mi na dejta. Kupię ci kwiatę, będziesz nosiła. Mama, synek, tak to laka, chodź tu Pupsi, daj buziaka. Hej Pupsi, Pupsi, chodź mi na dejta. Pupsi się pyta, gdzie muzyka jest. Mam piękny kwiatek i mam nowy dres. Teraz jestem malowana, tańcu ze mną aż do rana. Pupsi się pyta, gdzie muzyka jest. Hurja do domu, Pupsi leciała. Hurja do domu, Pupsi leciała. Gdzie ja słowe aspirynę słowała się pod jeżynem. To moja Pupsi, moja dziewczyna. Hej, hej!
Hey, that's the Steel City Brass, and you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. Guys, girls, we appreciate it. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to put us on here. Let's see here. You and Amanda are going back and forth here with his Vintage Dynatones album, and I just pulled up the Vintage Dynatones recording that we do have in the studio here, and it is only showing me a boys from Chicago. It is not showing me a girls from Chicago.
So maybe all your years of playing, you might know something.
Well, let's take a listen to this. Right. Why don't we? And Adam Anton, we've got a live and kickin' coming up for you next, sir.
Chicago są ładne zgrabne panienki. Chłopcy w Chicago tylko są zgrabne kobietki. Chłopcy w Chicago tylko są zgrabne kobietki. Pili się pili, sobotę wieczór do rana. Przy każdym jedna
Hey, that's a little bit of the Dynatones. Polkas After Dark once again, kids, is what you're tuned to. We thank you so much. We've got a tune coming up right now for Mr. Adamanton off of the live and kickin' recording. Nigel on the bass, Eddie Blazonczyk on the vocal. Here's one called When I Hear the Music.
Jak muzykanci grają, to każdy se wybija. Jak muzykanci grają, to każdy se wybija. Raz, dwa!
Hey, we're going to be talking about that fabulous New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza coming up down in, or should I say over in Ohio, coming up real soon.
Na moście pod mostem lilia. Jak muzykanci grają, to każdy se wybija. Jak muzykanci grają, to każdy se wybija. I ja bym ty zatańczył, ale jestem kulawy. Siedzę smutny, nie mogę podnieść się tu z tej ławy. Siedzę smutny, nie mogę podnieść się tu z tej ławy.
a little bit of the Ample Airs featuring Nigel on the bass. Hey, how about we bring back some memories with this one? A little bit of Crying Girl. Here's Scrubby off of the Sunshine Heat recording with Mike Nowakowski and the guys.
Płacze dziewczyna, miłego nie ma. Siedzi sobie zadumiana, z białym chusteczką, piękną wysustą, oczka się ociera. Biała chusteczka, jasieneczka, z piękną różą wyszywana. Smutna dziewczyna, smutna jest chwila, bo Jasienka nie ma. Jesteś, Jasiu, gdzie ty wędrujesz? Boli głowa, płacze serce. Niech ta chusteczka się nie ociera, powróć do mnie, proszę.
Rano porosie, aha, rano porosie. Wyganiała buki, pole rozwidniało się. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Słowroneczek przyśpiewuje, słowik turuje, a ja sobie do dziewczyny tak przyśpiewuję. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja.
Hey, good evening to John Osach. He's here this evening, as well as Diane Kopka.
Śpiewam dla ciebie, dziewczyno, bo będziesz moja. Ożenimy się w kościele na koniec maja. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Wohidana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Blazonczak Sr. on the vocal. A little bit of the early morning obedic. We're going to send this one out to Tom Hoke, Brother Tom. I don't know. I didn't see him here in the chat room. He's may or may not be.
He's on a lot of times where he doesn't sign in.
Not be listening.
Just listening.
Well, hopefully he is. We're going to wish him a speedy recovery because I think he is still over there in that other place. And he needs to get out of there and get back home, which will be soon, I am sure. Oh, gosh. Hey, Jerry, why don't you mention a little bit about the Puko Yashu event, because we've got a whole bunch of things that are coming up along with that.
So, another New Year. I felt like I should have done well.
Oh, hold on a second. I think there's a guy that actually does that, and he gets paid to do that.
Okay, so
from us. So, yeah, hang on.
Well.
It's time for another New Year's Eve weekend extravaganza update at the Embassy Suites 5800 Rockside Woods Boulevard in Independence, Ohio, 44131. The phone number for the Embassy Suites is 216-986-9900. I'm not reading that very long.
No, don't.
Okay, good.
Nope,
so it's $121 a night for single or double occupancy. It's $131 for triple or quad occupancy. That rate includes 2-hour complimentary happy hour.
Let's see, where does it say complimentary? Complimentary. Okay. There you go.
Happy hour daily. And breakfast the next day, which is comped as well. I'm just going to say comped. It's easier.
Yeah, in a sense it is.
So you get a comped breakfast the next day, including an omelet bar, which is awesome. The breakfast is to die for. Yes. Even hungover, I could eat breakfast. So that'll tell you that it was really good. So all the events start on Friday night, December 29th, with a welcome party with Robin and myself doing a live broadcast from 8 until midnight. We're also following up on Saturday afternoon doing a live broadcast. I don't have the times on this one, but I know that they have been kind of put out there already.
Like noon to 2, and then everything starts
when everybody
at 3.
gets to go to their room, freshen up.
We might do like an 11 to 2 or something like that.
Whatever they tell us.
All depends on how bad you're hungover.
After breakfast, I'll be fine.
Okay, good.
On Saturday, December 30th, doors open at 3 p.m. Music and dancing from 4 until 10. At 10 o'clock, there is going to be a jam until midnight.
Yeah.
Music will be provided by The Project and Michael Costa and The Beat on Saturday, and then on Sunday, on top of all the other events going on, we're going to do New Year's Eve dinner and dance. Doors open at 4:30 p.m., dinner at 5 p.m., music from 5:30 until 1 a.m. That includes music by Michael Costa and The Beat, Dinah Brass, and Polka Family. Admission on Saturday is $25 per person. 16 and under are $10. Sunday is $125, which includes your dinner and dancing, and that is $125 per person. 16 and under are $50. Both days is $145 per person. 16 and under are $50. However, until October 1st, Puko Yashu is including a discount of $15.
Yes.
So it would only be
person.
$130 per person instead of $145. Make sure you reach out to them ASAP.
And who is them?
Them. I'm not there yet. Other events during this weekend include Brisk Walk with Puko Yashu, Top Golf, IJDJ Party with Robin and I, 2 days, and then we also have a Bloody Mary party with IJDJ Bruce Z. There's bingo, trivia, yoga, Roman Catholic Mass, sip and paint. There are tons of activities.
I still don't like that sip and paint thing. I think there's a lot of lead in that. And did you ever try to sip paint through a straw?
Nope.
It's very difficult.
Nope.
It's got to be stirred very, very well. Otherwise, it's thicker than molasses.
On their actual flyer, on both Michael Pukowski's and Jeff Yosh's Facebook page, you can find the full flyer with all the information. I've shared it. I believe Robin shared it.
Yes, I did.
And it tells you everything that's going to be happening.
Everything that you want to do.
Mike Pukowski can be reached at 908-209-9843. or you can give Jeff Yash a call at 518-281-1587. And we hope to see you all there.
Yes, and I understand that Mike Pukowski is going to change his telephone number. I don't know for sure.
888-888-888-888.
No, I think he was talking about it. I don't know for sure if he's going to do it or not.
He's going to have to afterwards.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Complaint line is not him. Not that there were any complaints.
No, absolutely not. Not from that weekend, that's for sure. That is for doggone sure. No, I think he's going to change the telephone number. Mike Pukowski, from what I understand, now I don't know if this is for real or not, it's going to be 1-800-227-2.
Well.
That's what it is. So that'll. I can't wait to see that. How do you, is that even going to be feasible? No, I think it would have to be 1-800 a number. And then, yeah, probably something like, we'll talk to him. I'm sure he's going to be able to do something with it. Hey, also, we want to make mention about something. Jerry and I are going to have these tickets available, so you might want to contact us here if you reside in the Buffalo, New York area. And if you're not going, you don't need to be present. Do you see that? It says winners do not need to be present. But for $25, you can win a chance for the first prize of $1,000, second prize of $500, or third prize of $250. Again, there's going to be a limited amount of tickets sold. The drawing will be on Sunday, December the 31st. Again, you do not have to be there to win. So if you want to get a hold of us, Jerry and I are going to have 10 tickets only, so those are going to go really quick. But please make sure that you get a hold of us, and that is for the New Year's Extravaganza raffle. First prize, $1,000. Second prize, $500. Third prize, $250. Let's see, what else did we have? Oh, we wanted John Zalasko and Eddie Shivets to mention something, along with Seabass. And, of course, who's that kid with the hair and always wears the security T-shirt and the hat that's like an animal on drums? We got to get him an animal shirt. That's what he needs.
We want to remind you that we, the project and the beat, will be appearing together on December 30th at the Embassy Suites in Independence, Ohio for the Pukayashu weekend. It's going to be the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. The 31st is going to be live music by Polka Family and The Beat, and also Dynabrass. And then the welcome party will be on the 29th with Jerry and Robin Pegg. They're going to be having a DJ IJ welcome party. And like Eddie and I were talking about it, there's going to be plenty of things to do over the weekend. Jeff and Mike have got so many things planned. So come on out, join us. Join the beat. These guys are unbelievable. Thank you. The future of polka music right here. If you haven't had a chance to come out and see them, please come out and see the guys. This will probably be the project's last job together. Please come out and join us. And
come see them.
We'll do farewell. It's going to be awesome.
Don't forget about Top Golf Bingo. There's some Morski's DJing also as well. That's going to be a blast. And there's a jam session after all the bands are done in one of the little suites there, the rooms there. So it's going to be good.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great time.
What a way to end the year and start a new year.
Come join us.
Happy New Year.
We're getting the new year hot. That's right.
We'll see you.
Hey, here's one of the bands that's going to be performing for you New Year's Eve. Here's the Dynabrass, one called One Step, Two Step. I think that's for the folks that drink a lot, isn't it? No, that's a 12-step.
One step, two step, out the door she goes, heading for the dance they're having somewhere down the road. She'll take a swig and dance a jig and really show herself, tearing up that dance floor way past 12. Now I'm a jeans, the prettiest thing that I ever saw, wanted by every man in town but me most of all. On Saturday night you'll find her down at Old Buck's Dancing Hall, turning men's heads, driving women up the wall. Well, it's one step, two step, out the door she goes, heading for the dance they're having somewhere down the road. She'll take a
the sound of the Dyna Brass. Joe Zaleski and company. They're going to be entertaining you along with Polka Family and The Beat on that special New Year's Eve extravaganza. Hey, you know, we want to catch this song real quick for
Sharon and Tom Golden.
Sharon and Tom Golden. This is the song I think that they danced to on their honeymoon in the room, because I guess there was no bed there, and there was like just a big open space. They just had like a bar, a sink, a toilet, and I'm almost positive they danced to this song. I could be mistaken. And Tom and Sharon, you still may not be here, but if you aren't, you can catch this a little bit later. So let's try this. Uh-oh, they are still watching. Uh-oh, now what do we do?
Uh-oh.
They just heard me mention that. Jeez. I was just kidding. There was a bed in there. Really, there really was. I know there was, because we had the cameras there. Oh, I shouldn't have said that either.
I think we ought to take a chance on love. I really think that we can make it, and we look so good together. I think we ought to take a chance on love. It might last a day, but then again, it just might last forever. I think we ought to take a chance on love. We have so many things in common, and we'll share our dreams forever. I think we ought to take a chance on love. Let's take that first step on our journey, and we'll walk life's road together.
Hey, for Amy and Jim, this one's for you, kids.
I think we ought to take a chance on love. I really think that we can make it, and we look so good together. I think we ought to take a chance on love. It might last a day, but then again, it just might last forever. I think we ought to take a chance on love. We have so many things in common, and we'll share our dreams forever. I think we ought to take a chance on love. Let's take that first step on our journey, and we'll walk life's road together.
Hey, especially for Ashley, here's one for you, kiddo. Thanks for waiting on it. You can't dance.
Baby says bye, I say hello. Baby says stop, and I say go. It's hard to figure, I just don't know. But I know she loves me so. Polka tunes, that's what I do. Singing, playing all night through. Comes to dancing, that's something new. I can't dance, who wants to? The baby says you can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, hear what I say. You can't dance, but that's okay. 'Cause you can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, hear what I say. You can't dance, but that's okay. 'Cause you can't dance, but you can play. Baby says here and I say then. Baby says well done, I say well. To be without her I just can't bear. 'Cause we make a perfect pair. Polka tunes, that's what I do. Singing, playing all night through. Comes to dancing, that's something new. I can't dance, who wants to? Baby says you can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, hear what I say. You can't dance, but that's okay. 'Cause you can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, but you can play. You can't dance, hear what I say. You can't dance, but that's okay. 'Cause you can't dance, but you can play.
are calling me.
Hey, for musical Mark Swoger and also Marie blasting from the city of North Tonawanda.
Those Pennsylvania hills
Here's one called the Pennsylvania Hills. It's going to take us right up to quitting time.
with their good old hospitality. Run, Simone! I've been many places where I've had some fun. I've traveled the highways, I follow the sun. But when day is over and I lay to rest, I dream of those hills that I love the best. Those Pennsylvania hills.
Hey, folks, don't forget to catch us next week, Saturday. We're going to be doing a live broadcast from an outdoor pool party, weather permitting. We sure hope to see ya. We'll let you know during the week what times we're going to be broadcasting. Hey, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark, and we appreciate it. You guys are awesome all the time. And as we always say, if you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
You're tuned to Polkas After Dark. See you next week, Saturday. But it's not going to be late. It's going to be early on.
I've seen all the valleys, I've been